I want to give an update on Cayden Lindstrom. Obviously, our first pick from last year's draft has been working, doing everything that we've asked for him, but he's got to a point where he can't get to 100%. He's been 90% or so. So yesterday, a couple days ago, our doctors recommended him to do a procedure called a discectomy. Yeah, I just want to make sure I get it. Not a doctor. And so they performed that yesterday. Everything went very, very short procedure, and everything went well. They felt that what they saw is exactly what they thought they would see, and his recovery will be back to 100%, and hopefully play hockey again this season.
How long is the recovery? Do they have
Well, they'll make him sit for not do a whole lot for 30 days. Okay. And then it'll just be day by day, and he'll continue to do his recovery right here in Columbus.
Did you always know that this was a possibility? I mean, since you got him.
Yeah, once the doctor started looking at him, to his credit, he wanted to try to work through it, and the doctors were all good with that. Yeah. Again, I go back to what I said. The timetable initially wasn't about right now. It's about making sure we get this player prepared. He's going to be an NHL player with us for a long time, and we wanted to make sure we did the right things. And we got to a point where we just couldn't get to that 100% and felt that this was necessary to do.
In layman's term, what was the procedure? Was it nerve damage or anything? What's involved?
No, it's from what I understand, I'm not a doctor, so there was pressure on the spine from the nerve, and so there's just all it is a tiny little fragment that they saw there on the MRI that they just had to shave off.
Not a doctor either. Is there any sense that this is chronic in any way, or is this a one-time?
No, they 100% did talk to the doctor. They think it's a one-time procedure, that it should not have any effect going forward.
So that was something that, going into the draft, you probably can't really tell that he may potentially need that procedure, and then you guys figure it out after the draft? Or?
Yeah, I mean, we relied on all our medical experts saying that, rehab was the best avenue to go to start, and, didn't rule out anything at that point, but knowing what we knew and now what they confirmed yesterday, we feel very comfortable that this is just a one-time thing, and that there won't be any long-term effects from it.
Do we have any idea how the injury happened? Was it like a collision, or was it just kind of a build-up over time that they can work on? Or?
I believe, because he wasn't here, it was lifting weights when he did it, when he was coming back from his rehab assignment.
Have you talked to him post-surgery?
I have not talked to him yet, no.
Just curious, can you say what kind of mood he was in going into it?
Very good. I talked to him the day before, and he, it took him a few, we met last week and talked about it. He wanted to make sure he talked to his family and his representation to make sure and everybody's 100% on board with doing it. So he was in good spirits.
Yeah, he had that surgery here in Columbus?
He did not.
He did not?
No.
Can you say where he had it?
Not. I'm always worried about HIPAA violations, so I'm going to stay away from that. Yeah.
Gotcha. Okay. Thanks. The other moves that you made today. Tell me how you reached this point with Jiricek. Putia would have been enough roster space. Why is this the right time for him to go to the AHL?
Yeah, with Jiricek, obviously, I watched him last year when I got the opportunity to come here in the playoffs in Cleveland, and thought he played very, very well, not just defensively but offensively. And, for whatever reason, it hasn't gone as smoothly, the transition to the NHL this year. So, he's played some games. I know he hasn't played the minutes that he wants to play. But his confidence, we can tell just watching the other night, is, he's worried about making that mistake. And so, he's 20 years old. He's going to be 21 years old here in the end of the month. He's very young, and playing in the NHL is a tough position to start with, but especially for a young player. So we just made a decision that we thought it was best let him go play games in Cleveland, and we'll see how it goes.
Yeah. Do you have assurances at this point that he will report to Cleveland?
Oh, I don't know why he wouldn't. I don't know what his options are. So, yeah.
How did he take the news?
Well, it's like any young player. They all take it. I've been through this 1,000 times. And nobody wants to hear that they're being sent to the farm team, but you got to give them the reasons too. You don't just say we're sending you down there, see you later. You got to explain what they need to work on, and certainly we've done that and did that. So, hopefully he goes down there with a good attitude and continues to grow in his career.
Did you speak with the agent before that? Or?
Well, I've spoke to the agent a lot this week, but I have not spoken to him yet today.
John, you've said in the past that he has nothing left to prove in the AHL. That's different from not being able to improve in the NHL. Is that fair to say? And are there specifics you think he can improve upon down there?
Yeah, I think, offensively, he's a very, very gifted player. We've seen that through his career. He's got to work on his defensive game, and it's not going to, I'm not looking for him to go down there and get points and goals. That'll come naturally. It's, clean up in your defensive zone, play the structure that we want to play here. That's probably the most important thing. Dean's got a very tight structure he likes to play, and we need everybody to buy into that. So I think that's the most important message: is work on your defensive game and try to play as much as you can as the Blue Jackets play here.
Don, how important was that flexibility when you made the second move, Putia down? So now you have a little bit of any idea how you want to use that, or just the flexibility the most important right now?
Yeah, well, again, another young player that didn't play last night with KJ getting close to playing. He needs to play. He's a young player, so these guys sitting in the stands and watching and playing every few games is not going to make them any better. Poutier did everything we could ask here. He's a very responsible player, killed penalties defensively and we know he's got an offensive side to his game, and we hope that he can continue to play the way he does here defensively and can contribute offensively and help grow his career.
Imagine you've heard from other GMs regarding Jiricek when he's not in the lineup. Did you ever even consider listening to trade offers? Is that an avenue you would consider if it continues?
Well, as a GM, and I've always said I have to listen to every trade offer. It doesn't matter what the player's name is. If we can make our team better, we always got to look at those options. So certainly I've gotten calls, and we'll continue to talk to whoever's interested in whichever player, and if something makes sense for this organization. There's never made a personal decision ever in my career. It's always what's best for the organization. If there's something that makes sense, certainly we will look at it.
You obviously were not here when he was drafted, but he was a 6th overall pick. Is it fair to say that because of where he was drafted and the talent maybe he still has in him, he's young, the price would be pretty high?
Well, it's, yes, to answer your question, yes, the price is going to be, I just want, I've told everybody that equivalent, young players that are trying to make their way. We're not really loaded at any one position. So we're open-minded about that, but we're not going to trade any young player for a 27, 28-year-old player. That doesn't make any sense for where we are at this point. So we'll listen, and if something makes sense, like I said, we'll look at it and make the move if it means making our team better.